Football, also known as the beautiful game, followed by many people throughout the world and also regularly getting media coverage. But some media coverage can end up making the sport look bad. One of these issues is racism. We spoke to a Bolton Wanderers supporter who watched games there in the 80s.
When I was younger, in the 70s, 80s, that's in the early 80s, that racism was acceptable in football. And it got to the point where players as high profile as John Barnes, fans would be throwing bananas at him on the pitch, and it was acceptable. And you thought it was funny, even though you weren't throwing the bananas. You couldn't see the harm in it.
We also went to interview former player and manager Peter Reid to see his opinion on the matter.
I remember hearing, obviously when black players were involved, certain noises from the terraces, but people just got on with it. And to be fair to the black players, they were mentally very strong, you know, I'm talking Viv Anderson, John Barnes, Laurie Cunningham, you know, these lads, Cyril Regis, these lads who, you know, fought the way through, but handled themselves with great dignity and great respect.
We went to the streets to see what people thought FIFA should do to improve this.
I think it's difficult to say. I think they just tolerate it too much. You know, I think they're a bit scared of imposing any sanctions on these sorts of clubs.
Yeah.
And I think what they have to do is just ban people, really. Ban either clubs or players for significant periods of time. I don't think fines have any real value, but banning from competitions or games or something like that, I think would.
Probably, yeah, because obviously it's racism, isn't it? They throw bottles and stuff at them, and then it should be banned like from a couple of games.
Is Seb Platter the real problem?
Completely. Yeah. The trouble with the setup is he answers to no one. He could be the biggest bigot going, and there's nothing anyone can do because he rules and he's not voted in. He'll say he's voted in, he's not.
Yeah.
Because it's not very democratic, he can simply put his rules in place, which he does, and his thoughts are in place, which they are.
I'm not a great lover of Sepp Blatter. I think the way he runs FIFA is, well, let's just say for football's governing body, the way they handle racism is very poor, among other things involved with football.
He's too old, he's in the wrong generation. If you brought someone younger, in their early 20s and 30s, who've been brought up by good education to know racism is wrong, is a lot more likely to put something in place to stamp it out. If he's too old, he's in the wrong generation.